Students, this is the video for Wednesday, September 17th. We're going to focus on multi-step equations. We were doing multi-step equations in class on Monday. These are just a little bit more complicated, have a little bit more things to work with and deal with. So here goes. Alright, number one, we draw our line down. We're still going to work on simplification of the left and simplification of the right. So in this one, we have parentheses, which lets us know we have distributive property. So we're going to distribute this 1/2 to both parts. So 1/2 times 12 is 6n, and 1/2 times a -8 is -4, equals 26. Okay. From there, we see a -4, so we do +4, +4. Those cancel out. Bring down my 6n. 26 plus 4 is 30. Last step, when it's beside it, we divide both sides by 6. That cancels. N equals 5. Okay. If we were to plug that back in, we take our 5, we put it in right there, and if we get 26, then that lets us know we did it correctly. Number 4, then draw my line down. I see distributive property. I got to take care of that first, so the +3 is my distributor. I'm not doing anything with the -4x, so I'm going to bring him down. 3 times 2 is +6x. 3 times a -5 is -15. Nothing to do with 31, so I bring it down on the other side as well. Now these are like terms, so I'm going to combine them. -4 plus 6 is 2x. Bring down my -15 equals 31. Okay, now I'm down to where I just have 2 steps left. -15 gets a +15. Oops. And a +15 over here. Those canceled. 2x equals 46. When it's beside it, I divide it. So divide both sides by 2, and x equals 23. Again, you can take your 23, plug it back into there, and there, and it should give you 31. I want you to do numbers 5 and 6 on your own. You can pause the video here and complete those, but these need to be brought back complete. Next slide. Number 8, again, we're going to distribute. Here's our distributor. 1/4 times x, 1/4 times 8. Draw our line down. 1/4 times x is 1/4 x. 1/4 times 8 is 2, equals 2. I see a +2, so that gets a -2. -2. That cancels. I bring down my 1/4 x. 2 minus 2 is 0. This 4 is dividing, so I undo division through multiplication. 4's cancel. I bring down my 1x equals 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 must be my answer. I'll plug this in here, and I should get 2 once I check my work. Number 10, anytime we have just a negative by itself, it's in our best interest to put a 1 right there with it. So that becomes -1, and we distribute that. -1 times z is -1z. -1 times 5 is -5. Draw our line down. Bring down our -14. Bring down our equals. We get rid of a -5 by doing +5 to both sides. Those cancel. -1z equals -14 plus 5 is -9. When it's beside it, I divide it. So divide both sides by -1. And z equals +9. Again, you can plug it in right there. And if you get -14, that means you did it correctly. You do not have to do 7 or 9, just the ones that I tell you to. Alright, so this is what it looks like with word problems. These are very similar to questions that are going to be on your checkpoint test and on the STAR test at the end of the year. It says, given the equation 3x plus y equals 4, find the value of y. So we're going to be searching for y if 2, y is the solution. So this is an x, and that's a y. So we're looking for the y, and they gave us this x of 2. Well, if they give you an x of 2, you have to take that and plug it in right there. So it'll be 3 times 2 plus y equals 4. Draw our line down, and we're ready to solve. So I look over here. That is simplification that needs to happen. 3 times 2 is 6 plus y equals 4. I'm trying to get y by itself, so I got to get rid of that 6. So subtract 6 from both sides. That cancels, and y equals 4 minus 6 is -2. Okay? So that means that 2 goes with negative 2. That 2 comes from there. The answer we got goes right there. Number 10 is a very similar problem. It says given the equation y minus 3 equals 3x, what is the value of y when x is negative 2? The negative 2 got pushed down to the next line. So again, we're given the x, so we're going to take it and plug it in right there. So it'll say y minus 3 equals 3 times negative 2. Draw our line down. This needs to be simplified, so I bring down my y minus 3. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Right here, when I see a negative 3, I have to do a plus 3 to undo it. Those cancel. Bring down my y. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. And that's my answer. So when x is negative 2, y is negative 3. Now let's take a look at Maxine needs to rent a car for a week. She has $3,000 to cover the rental. So she has, $300 to cover the rental. The car costs $35 a day and 25 cents a mile. How many miles can she drive for $300? There's a hidden number in here, and that's this number right here, a week. A week is 7 days. Okay, so we know, I like to start with the equals, so we know she equals $300. She's paying $35 a day, so $35 a day, she's getting it 7 days, plus 25 cents per mile, which is going to be our M. Draw our line down, and we're ready to start working. So 35 times 7 is 245 plus 0.25 M equals 300. We want to get rid of this 245, so minus 245 from both sides. Bring down my 0.25 M. This is 55. And then the last step, when it's beside it, I divide it. So even when it's decimals, I still just divide away. And M equals 55 divided by 0.25 is 220. And so what this means is for $300, she can keep it 7 days and drive 220 miles. While on vacation, you purchase 4 identical t-shirts for some friends. So 4 t-shirts. And a watch for yourself. And it equals for all for $75. You know that the watch costs $25. Write and solve an equation to find how much each t-shirt. So the cost of the t-shirt, we can just call it C for cost of the t-shirt. So we know that you spent $75. We know that you bought a watch that cost $25, plus you bought 4 t-shirts that we don't know the cost of. So we can solve that problem. Minus 25 from both sides. That cancels, bring down my 4C. 75 minus 25 is 50. When it's beside it, I divide it, so divide both sides by 4. And the cost equals 50 divided by 4, which is 12.5. And as a cost, 12.5 is going to be $12.50 for each shirt. If you multiply that back by 4 and add the watch cost, you should end up at $75.